And in my opinion, it's just a true reflection of your great leadership. And I know that when you came to Detroit, it was a tumultuous time, and the
Yes, it
Detroit
was.
Police Department had many issues. And you've done so much. And can you talk about that? And, your legacy is just one of so many different things. You've created union and a more decent, polite, professional, just amazing leaders in the police department themselves, the police officers and everyone that we come in contact with now.
Yes.
And can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, having obviously started as a Detroiter, I don't know if people know that you're a native Detroiter, and you started your career in 1977 in Detroit.
I did.
School there. It's almost as if your life's blueprint was set. Your legacy was already in motion. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Right. Well, I got to tell you, you're right. I've been a chief of police in 3 different cities, certainly. And as you pointed out, I did start my policing career here in Detroit. And then after a layoff, moved to Los Angeles. And then from that, after 28 years in retiring from Los Angeles, I fulfilled my dream of becoming chief of police. And that was in Portland, Maine. And then from Portland, Maine, I then became the chief of police in Cincinnati, and then full circle back home. Interesting transition. Once I was reached out to by the state of Michigan to consider being the chief of police in Detroit. As you know, this was a time that we were facing bankruptcy. An emergency manager was in place. And as you pointed out, it was a very different police department, very different community. The community had lost total confidence in the police department.
And the morale was at an all-time low.
The morale was at an all-time low. You talk about defunding. In fact, Detroit police were defunded. They had lost 10% of their pay. The officers that were on patrol were forced to work 12-hour shifts. So it was just a bad time here in Detroit. And so as I was preparing to leave, I was approached by local businessmen in Cincinnati. And what they asked me to do is reconsider, stay in Cincinnati, retire, leave the Cincinnati Police Department, become a consultant. We want to run you for office. And so I was flattered and humbled by that. And but I said, no, I'm going to go ahead and go home. And best decision I could have ever made. When I look back at 8 years to see where we've become a community that has confidence, but not just Detroit, Metro Detroit. They have seen the dramatic shift in how we relate to the community, how we serve this community. And so part of my legacy is that, we treat those men and women who do this difficult task with respect. We honor them. That wasn't really happening. And really, when you look at what's going on around this country, one of the things that I hear is that a lot of Detroit police officers, those who want to join, those who are coming back after leaving, because they feel supported. And that should not be understated. Support is so critical today, especially those police officers that serve honorably.
Right.
They need our support. And so in the community, I mean, now this is a community that knows that police were gone for many years. And I remember early on in my tenure as a chief, when we started to in a very visible way to attack some very significant quality of life issues, locations that were plagued with historic crime. And for the community to see that was the beginning of restoring faith and building that relationship back. So I have a lot to be excited about as I transition out.
Well, and also to be proud of, you made transparency in your department a top priority.